Hello everyone. So in today's lecture, we'll actually be working. Okay, there's a new footstep sounds for this, but anyway. So today we'll be working on the turn in place. Okay. Um. So for that, you'll have to understand few things. Okay. The first thing is how a sequencer works. Okay. So for that, actually, let us understand this in the third person character over here. Go ahead and type in tick. So over here, let's create a variable, and this variable will be let's just a value, okay, and let's have it of the float type, okay. So now we'll have this on a sequence, okay, and I'll delay this so it only runs like after every 1 second, right? So what I'll do is I'll print the value, okay, the first time round, okay. We'll print this. Let's append this. This one will be the first, okay. And then I will increment this, okay. And then I will actually like print it out again from this sequence. And this one will be called second, okay. And let's see how it works. Zero. So see, the second is always a bit ahead. So what happens is, now if you put in, if you like search for sequence and over here, control alt for more, okay. So the sequence node allows for a single execution pulse to be triggered in a series of events in order, okay. What happens is, if you also go into the documentation for a sequence node, what they will say is that each of these execution pins run simultaneously one after the other without any delays, okay. So what it means is it will fire up this function and then it will fire up this function sequentially, but there will be no delays in them, okay, in running the functions, okay. So it calls this function, it doesn't wait for this function to end or anything, it just calls this then goes this. So what happens is, we go over here, the value, we showcase the value over here, then increment it and then paste it again, okay. And it also feels like that at every 1 second there's two ticks, right? So in sequentially we can actually like find different values for the same value, right? Sorry, for the same output, right? So if we had something such as our after rotation we were getting, so we can actually store it somewhere, okay, let's say in the first one or in the second one, we'll store it somewhere and then we can actually like have um, some calculations done it on the other sequence. So what it will do is it will store the value of it in the last frame. So let's say you were working in separate frames, okay, like 60 frames a second. So in certain frames, okay. So let's say each frame will have a different value when you are moving or turning, right? So this will be helpful to store different values in different frames, okay. So you will understand how and why will sorry, you you already have seen how it works and why we needed this information. You will understand it in a while, okay. So so with this one, I will delete this, and now let's go ahead with the logic in itself. For that we'll actually use the animation class, okay, the animation blueprint. We'll go to the event graph first, and from here we'll actually get our character reference. and we'll get the actor rotation. Okay, and now break this one, split this structure pin, and if you click on this character, okay, if you to select the rotation tool, now you will see that the Z axis or the yaw is what you need to actually turn your character, right? So this will be used for actually getting the turn in place to play. Okay. So we'll get this yaw, and what we'll do is we'll actually promote this to a variable and we'll call this the yaw current. Okay. And let's actually get a sequence from here as well. Okay, since this will be different, and we'll save this one over here, and we need to actually get this current value at all times. Okay, so um, this will be separate, and from the sequence one, what we'll do is we'll actually check if we should move or not. And what I'll do is I'll check actually the get the ground speed, and I will check if it is um, greater than 0 or not. If it is greater than 0, we'll pass through. Otherwise, we will not pass through it. Okay, we'll not pass through it at all. The first thing that we'll require is we need to get this current yaw. Okay, we'll get this yaw current, and what we'll do is we'll actually get this one again, and we will subtract this. Okay, so I'll subtract the current with, and the current means actually shouldn't actually be current. Uh, this one you can actually say it next frame actually, since we are actually doing it from one. Okay, so your next frame we can call it, and we will subtract sorry, not next frame, it will be last frame, and we will subtract this with the current year that we have, right? And what we can do is we can actually promote this to a variable, and this variable will actually give us the yaw delta. Okay. And once we get this yaw delta over here working, we can actually add this yaw delta with the yaw total. Okay. We'll get it with the yaw total and save it to the yaw total. And you can call it your total or the total turn as well. So totally up to you. Okay. And what we'll do is actually, yeah, not directly save it because we don't actually need the total of it. What I'll do is I'll normalize this axis. So it actually gives clamps it in between the minus 180 and 180 degrees. But I'll clamp it even more. Okay. Actually, you can actually like not use the clamp axis either. You can directly use the clamp angle, and I'll clamp it between minus 90 to 90, right? And this will be what your is, okay? So we have got this, okay? And this will be used to actually like make our turn, okay? So now if I'm doing a print string and play, okay? Uh, sorry, if this is less than equal, sorry, if it is less than equal to 0, then it should run, right? Sorry about that. So you can see this is 90. So 90 is where you should actually play the turn animation and your body should turn, right? So something like that. uh and another thing is 90 is left, minus 90 is right. And now what we'll do is we'll go to the anim graph now. Go to the locomotion state, we have the idle and the walk run. Okay, so from the idle, you can actually go to turn right, or you can actually turn left, right? Turn left. Okay, so let's go back from here. So these two, okay, you will actually turn left if my your tot sorry, you will turn left if uh your total is greater equal to 9. Actually, no, like we'll call it in range. Okay, so left was if maximum would be 90 and 89. Okay, and we will turn right if it is minus 89 to minus 90. Sorry, minus 90 to minus 89, right? And I'll change this one. Minimum was 89 to 90. Okay, sorry about that. And okay, we need to actually get back as well. So in the turn left, I will actually go to the ALS and get the animations from there. Okay, right click, get this. So for the left, I'm using this one, and for the right, I am using this one. Okay, and make sure this does not loop. Okay, and now we'll return back when time remaining from these are is less equal to, let's say, 0.01 second. Okay, so same with the right one, right click, and time remaining from this animation is uh, less than equal to zero point 0.1. We'll get back to this. Okay, again, and now this one is set. Now let's go to the event graph. Okay, and okay, no, let's go to the animation first, the right animation. Over here we'll also be using curves. Okay, I'll delete these notifies. I'll remove all the curves. I'll actually create new curve. Okay, two curves. The first one will be playing, and this will check if this curve is playing or not. And the next curve I'm going to create will be playing uh, playing part. Okay, so which part it is playing. Okay, so the first curve, what I'll do is I'll create one key over here using the middle mouse button while actually like having my mouse over the line, curve line. Okay, and this one will be 1 and 1. Okay, so it is uniform at 1 and 1 all the way. And the second part, playing part, I'll actually have two of these, okay, on the curve itself. And the first one will be 0 0, and the second curve will be at 1 1. Okay, and now let's go back and you'll see it's going from 0 all the way to 1 as the rotating right is finished. Okay, so we'll go to the left one and do the same thing, remove all curves and remove this notifies as well. And I will add metadata because we already have the curves made. So the first one was playing, and the second curve that we wanted was playing part, right? And then we'll convert this curves. Again, this one only has one over here, so 0 0. This one will be at, and the next one will be at 1 comma 1. Okay, so again it will move from 0 to all the way to 1. Okay, by the time it finishes. Okay, so from here, once we have turned 90 degrees, I want to reset it to value 0, right? So once sorry, I will actually keep this string. So once I go here to 90, I want to play the turn animation and I want it to actually reset to zero, right? So now, right now it did not reset to zero. So I want it to reset to zero, and that's why we'll check if the animation is playing or not. And the way to do is we'll get the curve value, okay? And the curve name is this one is playing, okay? This one will tell us if this curve is playing or not. So if this is nearly sorry, where is the float? Nearly equal float, yeah, there we go. And if this is nearly equal to 1, which means true, we'll actually set this yaw total to 0, okay? And let's see now, you get to 90 and then it sets to 0 again. So I can again turn to left 90 and see animation plays, which is good. It's working. It's not there yet, but it's working, right? So for this to actually work completely, we need to do one more thing, and that is go to the anim graph, okay? And over here in the output pose, what we need over here is a function that is called rotate root bone, okay? This is a tool that has been created by Unreal Engine, and this is what we'll be using to rotate. So the pitch, we don't need the pitch, okay? So we'll actually not expose it. It will be stay as 0, and we also don't need the mesh to component, okay? So we'll also have it uh, not exposed, okay? So this yaw will be our yaw total, okay? And what this does is when I'm rotating, as you can see, my body only turns once this is 90 degrees. So you see, this one turns, but this snap does not look good, right? We're almost there, almost. So we're almost there. So for it to be like really smooth, the transition to be smooth, what we require is the second curve that I just made, and this is the playing part, okay? And this playing part, what I'll do is I'll log this, okay? That's why we had the log from 0 to 1. So by the end of it, it should be to 0, right? And the your total is the first part. So whatever your value is, you'll change from 0 to, so sorry, from that value to 0, okay? So I move over here and you can see now the rotation is like really smooth, not as smooth as we would want it to be, but it is better than the one we had before. Okay, so you can actually play this, play it with however you want it to be. Actually, a longer animation would actually help. Let's say it was 2 seconds, like this one is, like these are 2 seconds. So a 2 second will blend much more smoother than this one. But I'll just keep it like this. If you guys want to do it with the turn in place animation, these are 2 second, 2 second sequence, right? You can go ahead and do this. Okay. Um, okay, so this is almost done. So I have one more thing to check is if I go like this, see, it doesn't actually like change the rotation to that angle, right? So this one looks bad. So when you are moving, this is fine, this movement, but otherwise it doesn't look that good, right? Otherwise, if you're like this, it doesn't look good. So for that, that's why we have this over here, a check to see if we had a speed or not. So what we'll do something similar over here. We'll get the yacht total and we will actually set this yacht total to 0 actually. And this time we'll actually not use a log. We'll be using we'll use something called interp tool, okay? and this will be a float interp 2. Sorry, what did I get? Sorry about that. Interp 2. This is a float. Yeah. So we'll use the interp 2. The target will be 0. The delta time will get world delta seconds. And the interp speed is totally up to you to play around with. Let's see 7. So I'm watching over here, and it doesn't actually like get there yet. Okay. So there's another thing that we are missing over here. So, and that would be this one. Yeah. I, sorry. Uh, we should do the sequence afterwards. So if it is true, only then do it. Otherwise, yeah, we'll reset it back to 0, right? So that's the only mistake I think I did over here, like this. Rotate. It's not getting turned into total. Why is that? So point 10, yeah, 10, yeah. See, it's fast. Sorry. Another thing is how that animation keeps on playing even when we are walking. So see, that animation plays when we are walking. So what we'll do is we'll come here, and this return will be again if should move is not, sorry, not boolean, and do a and if I should not move, only then do it, right? Do the animation for it, otherwise just get out of it. Okay, and let's see, go ahead. Sorry. So which way did I do? This is fine. This one, the entering part is where, and this one, once it starts playing, yeah, once it starts playing, yeah, I should also have the knob over here as well. This is fine on the left, and the right should have on the right as well. Actually, not and, sorry, it will be an or. So either of them can break it out from that. So this will be an or over here. So yeah, now let getting in, remove this. Yeah, sorry, remove from the getting in part, going in at, sorry about that, guys. Now what's the issue? It's between this. Okay, sorry. It should be should move or should move. Sorry about that, guys. Animation, if I'm moving and start working, yeah, it actually like works fine. See? Otherwise the animation plays, which is good. So we actually finally have this working now, and I think we can actually like make this a bit more advanced, much more smoother actually. But for now, I think this is enough. Okay. So thank you guys. And in our next part, I think we can actually, without any delays, I think we can actually start with the gun gameplay. Okay. So again, thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one.